Hello and welcome back to Crypto Saving Experts, where we talk about the latest cryptocurrency news and take a look at the markets so that we all know exactly what is happening. My name is Jess and we do these live streams every single weekday talking about the latest cryptocurrency news and taking a look at the price of Bitcoin as well. So if you want to see what's going on with the price, make sure to stay to the very end when we do some chart analysis. But until then, we are going to cover the latest cryptocurrency news. So let's get straight into it. Let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin right now. It's currently set at $26,909, down 0.76%, and Ethereum is down to $1,862. Not really much movement within the last 24 hours in terms of percentage change, but we'll be taking a look at some levels of support and resistance to see what's really happening at the end of today's stream, as I have just said. So let's get into the news here. First of all, if you don't already, go over to our Instagram at Crypto Saving Expert and give us a follow over there. I post a reel a day recapping the daily news. If these streams are too long for you, then those reels might be more convenient. And also we post all of the news as it happens all of the time. And big day for us at Crypto Saving Expert. We have hit 7,000 users. 7,000 of you guys have gone over to cryptosavingexpert.com and pressed that big blue sign up button there and created an account. And there are many other users that have not yet created an account. So if you are one of them, make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com and press that big blue sign up button, and then you get access to all of these incredible courses absolutely for free. So that is that. Let's take a look at the latest cryptocurrency news though and see what is going on. First of all, this is the biggest news of the day. We did post about this on our Instagram, so we can pull that up first for a quick recap so we all know what's going on here. Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, has explained that the biggest gainers from the US war on crypto are our adversary nations like China and Russia. We are making moves to allow crypto and blockchain technology to flourish in their countries. So this is in talks about the regulatory problems within the US. Now, Brian Armstrong, the CEO of Coinbase, has really been pushing for clarity and transparency around building regulation and regulatory framework for cryptocurrencies in the US. And the US regulators, specifically the SEC with Chairman Gary Gensler, and not having any of it. They don't want to listen. And actually, Michael Saylor did discuss in a interview last week or the week before that he thinks the lack of clarity is on purpose. They want to make it difficult for cryptocurrency companies to grow in the region so that they move out of the region and go somewhere else. But what we are seeing here is, as Coinbase's CEO has pointed out here, all of these cryptocurrency companies are moving to other regions. These regions are growing, expanding on the technology, how we can best use it, and they're getting a head start now. So let's take a look at this article anyway. The CEO of Coinbase has warned that the USA's overly restrictive or ambiguous crypto policies are driving innovation in an entire financial sector offshore. So economic competitors to the US, such as China, are preparing to take advantage of the booming crypto sector. In an opinion article published by Market Insider, Coinbase CEO explained that, I've just had a pop there, they and other companies want to comply with legislation and have been lobbying for regulators to set clear guidelines for crypto in the US. But instead of robust new rules that would help these efforts, we're getting threats of enforcement action, and this is exactly what we do not want to see. These are the problems that we are facing, and even companies like Coinbase are saying we can't stay here anymore. We need to look at moving elsewhere if the regulations don't become more clear and become more based around cryptocurrencies. What's happening right now is the regulation is an old framework that was created many years ago, before cryptocurrency was even a thing. And then the regulators in the US have said this is fine, we can just put this old regulatory model on this new technology, and it just does not fit. So that's the problems that we've been seeing here. And Brian Armstrong has been really pushing to have some clarity around the regulation, but that's not what he is getting, and not what we are all getting. And he has said the US and other democratic nations are up against digital systems promoted by an ambiguous advisory, China. So what we are seeing here is that we are having problems, and then other regions are taking advantage of this technology. We've massively seen a big push in Hong Kong, and they are benefiting from this greatly, and we are going to see this continue across Asia as long as the US make it incredibly difficult. Taking a look at the chat here, it seems Aaron Williams has said, can you pump our bags please, Jess? Cheers. Not possible here on the channel. We do not talk about altcoins. We only talk about Bitcoin and what's going on with the latest cryptocurrency news. Could be said that I do all the boring stuff, but this is the interesting stuff. This is what we need to listen to. I always say If you're new in crypto and you don't know where to start, listening to the cryptocurrency news every single day is hands down the best way to get into crypto. So if you have any friends that are new in crypto and they don't know what to do, just tell them to tune into these live streams every day, because they'll learn what's going on within the markets. They'll learn how the price is reacting to different pieces of news. And it's just one of those ways that you can keep up to date just by putting me on in the background. Let's take a look at the next article here anyway and see what else is going on here. So let's talk about this. Banks in Hong Kong and the UAE to cooperate on crypto asset regulation. So banks in both regions seek joint fintech development initiatives that foster collaboration between their financial services sectors. This is what I was just talking about. The US are making it different with regulation, and also the way they regulate banks means that banks don't really want to work with cryptocurrencies. We've seen the same in the UK. The UK wanted to become a cryptocurrency hotspot, but then a lot of the banks in the UK said, you know what, we don't want to work with cryptocurrency companies, and if we do, we're going to set limits on the amounts of deposits of withdrawals per day, per week, per month, per year, so that people can't really transact with these platforms too regularly. And that has caused problems, and that's really stifled growth in the UK. It's scared a lot of people away. People think, why have we got these limitations from the banks? So having banks that can cooperate with cryptocurrency companies and work with them together is really, really important. It's something the UK is lacking and something the US is lacking, but not something Hong Kong and the UAE are lacking. So their banks are ready and eager to work with their cryptocurrency companies, and that's giving them a massive head start already. On top of the regulatory problems in the US giving them a head start as well, they can just jump on leaps and bounds while we're all stuck at this problem that we are all seeing right now in the US. So let's take a look at this. The Hong Kong Monetary Authority and the Central Bank of the European Arab Emirates have agreed to cooperate in creating crypto asset regulations, fostering collaboration between the financial services sector of the two jurisdictions. So a lot of people look and hear about regulation and think this is a bad thing for the industry, but I actually think it's a very important thing for the industry. Having regulations that can allow cryptocurrency companies and cryptocurrency in general to grow is really important, and banks want to work with regulated instruments. So if we have regulations put in place, they'll all feel more comfortable to work together and help build the industry and build adoption. So we can see here, during a bilateral meeting held earlier this week in Abu Dhabi, the HKMA and the CBUAE agreed to enhance their cooperation in three major areas: financial infrastructure, financial market connectivity between the two regions, and crypto regulations and developments. So they're really looking to push forwards, and we already know that the UAE is definitely a hotspot for cryptocurrency, and we are now seeing Hong Kong try and go on that same journey. So this cooperation is something that can really help push both regions forwards. So let's keep an eye on that. It's very interesting with what's going on with Hong Kong right now. It kind of popped up out of nowhere and just said, we're going to be a cryptocurrency hotspot, and they've just made it happen. So let's keep an eye on that. But let's take a look at the next article here. We have CZ clarifies Binance is only letting go of those who do not fit into the company's culture. So there were rumours that Binance were going to get rid of 20% of their staff, but CZ has responded to these rumours, saying it's not true. They are only getting rid of the people that do not fit with the culture. So he said that Binance has a regular talent density audit and resource allocation exercise every 6 months or so. So it's like a cyclical process, and the main reason behind Binance has constantly been successful over the years. So like previous exercises, this will be done after several teams, including HR, risk and operations, finalise the talent density audit. There is no specific number, just direction on where we need to streamline. This has frankly been part of Binance's secret sauce. So we have amazing talent at Binance, and we will continue to retrain and hire more top talent. When we do have to part ways with an employee, they immediately become a high value target for recruiters across the globe, with clients looking to explore digital assets. So they have a restructuring every now and then to make sure they still have their goals set, and that is something that's really, really important, I do have to say. And we see many companies just get bigger and bigger and bigger, and they need to sometimes streamline and look at their end goal. That is something that Meta decided they were going to do in 2023 after they struggled. They said they were going to streamline and look at their target and only their target, and remove any side tasks that they had going on there. So that's obviously not going too well for them, but hopefully it will pick up in the long term. Let's take a look at the next one here and see what else is going on. So we are now talking about the cryptocurrency news. Let me make sure all of my buttons are correct. We're on crypto news here. Let's take a look here. Binance is considering letting institutional traders store collateral in banks. So Binance is reportedly discussing a proposal to allow institutional clients to store their trading collateral at banks to minimize risks. This is a big step forward because I think this will make it a lot easier for institutions to get involved. So Binance, the world's largest crypto exchange, is reportedly considering a proposal to let some of its institutional clients keep their trading collateral at banks rather than directly on the platform to minimize risks. So this kind of takes away the pressure on Binance and also allows the institution to feel like they have the extra level of security there. So according to Bloomberg, citing 4 people familiar with the matter, Binance has spoken with several of its professional customers about setting up a system allowing them to use bank deposits as collateral for margin and derivatives trading. So 2 of Bloomberg's sources added that Swiss-based Flowbank and Liechtenstein Bank Frick are considered potential third parties for the service. So FTX's collapse highlighted a need to protect and store user funds separately, and more financial companies are offering crypto custody solutions. So this is a big solution, obviously, and when it comes from the world's largest cryptocurrency exchange, could help drive adoption massively there. Let's keep an eye on that and let's take a look at the next one here. So we have Binance disables trading of privacy coins in France. Lots of news on Binance today. So users in Italy, Poland and Spain also received emails that Binance would disable the trading of privacy coins, prompting suspicion of a Europe-wide crackdown. So the largest crypto exchange, Binance, is allegedly planning to halt the trading of privacy coins for French customers in June. So this is tokens like Dash, ZEC and XMR on the 26th of June. Now, the exchange has stated that the decision to ban privacy coins was a measure to comply with local regulatory requirements. Now, we are seeing regulation in the EU. We are seeing them build on this, and they're trying to move forwards with creating a cryptocurrency-based regulation, which is obviously something that we are crying out for in the US. So we can't exactly complain about it. We just hope it doesn't stifle growth. And we hope that it's got cryptocurrency users in mind so that it can get the best results and cryptocurrency can continue to grow in the region. So we can see here that from 26th of June 2023, users residing in France will no longer be able to buy or sell the following enhanced anonymity crypto assets on our platform. And there's a list of some of the of all of the privacy coins there that are going to be removed. In France, we can also see some users in Italy, Poland and Spain have also reported receiving similar email statements from Binance. And a leaked draft bill in November 22 revealed that the European Union has plans to prohibit banks and crypto providers from dealing in privacy enhancing coins, including Monero, to avoid inherent risk. And the proposal was led by officials from the Czech Republic, according to reports. So global regulators crack down on privacy coins. Now, obviously, that is something that we were aware of. Privacy coins, stable coins, the 2 main sectors I think that the regulators in the EU are focusing on right now. That's what I've seen the most about in the news. So we will continue to see this throughout many different cryptocurrency exchanges. I believe now Binance have taken this step. Others will start to follow. They all are obviously trying to follow regulation as best as possible. They don't want to get into trouble, but sometimes it just seems hard to do so. Let's take a look at the next one here. Texas-based church sues Silvergate Bank over $25 million deposit used to invest in FTX. So the Word of God Church is suing recently closed Silvergate over its $25 million deposit that the bank allegedly used to invest in Sam Bankman-Fried's collapsed FTX exchange. So if you want more information on that, make sure to go to cryptosavingexpert.com. I'm going to rush through the next couple of articles because we have some Bitcoin analysis to perform at the end of today's stream. Conduct. I don't know what word I should have used there, but it didn't feel like perform. Let's take a look at this one. Crypto wallet as a service company Magic raised $52 million in their latest funding round. Funding rounds have got insane in the last couple of weeks. A lot of cryptocurrency-based companies are getting huge valuations, and it is nice to see. It's giving me hopes that the bull run is just around the corner. We can also see here that telecommunications firm Dutch Telecom becomes Polygon validator. So the subsidiary of the major telecommunications firm, is providing a validation node to support and secure the Polygon network and help drive the adoption of blockchain technology. And that is something I'm always on board with. Anything that can help drive adoption is something that I am all for. But that is all we have in the cryptocurrency news. Let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin and see what else is going on here. So Bitcoin posts 14.5% gain since February, beating gold and other major commodities. So we have seen some correlation between the price of gold, silver, and other commodities and Bitcoin. Bitcoin does seem to follow the same sort of patterns. We also have some correlation between Bitcoin and the traditional stock market, specifically the tech markets. And we also want to try and break away from this, in my opinion. So we want Bitcoin to be a full asset. I mean, it's not too bad being correlated to gold. Obviously, gold is seen as a hedge against inflation. It's seen as the asset that will help store value during difficult times. And this is what we want to see for Bitcoin as well. I like to describe Bitcoin as digital gold, as many of us do. But we could see here that Bitcoin could break out soon, according to Glassnode. We have seen the Bitcoin and commodity price 90-day performance. We can see that decline there. In correlation. So let's take a look at the price of Bitcoin on the Bitcoin USDT chart and see what's going on here. So we're looking at Binance here. Now again, I've not moved these lines, and we can see here we exactly wicked that $26,600 level, which we are looking at as a support. 26,600 to 26,900 has acted like a support so much for us since back on the 16th of March. We've been using this over and over again. So I'm hoping to see a nice bounce. We have come back into this range though, and we have stayed within this range for a long period of time previously, so it may be something that we do see again here. We do have this level of resistance at $27,700. I would also say we have a level of resistance here as well from these 3 points that we created back in May. So this is at around the $27,422, something that I am looking at there to keep an eye on. Obviously, a lot of us were in fears around the inverse head and shoulders pattern that we were discussing. We have shot up through that shoulder level. We have now been rejected, but I would still say that that pattern is invalidated. We will be keeping an eye on it though, just in case something plays out. If we continue to move back down these levels, even though that head and shoulders pattern has been invalidated, the next major level of support that I am looking at, if all of these levels do fail us, is around the price target, that head and shoulders pattern anyway, to be honest. So it's at that $25,220 level, something that I am definitely keeping an eye on. And to be honest, I wouldn't really complain if Bitcoin dropped to those levels, because we're creating levels of support, and creating levels of support is definitely something we need for future growth. We don't want to see Bitcoin move up in a straight line. We want to retest levels and make sure we have those solid levels of support, so for when we next come down, we have those confidence levels there that we know we can see some nice buying orders in. So that is what we are looking at right now on the price of Bitcoin. Let's do some RSI and MACD chart indicators to see what's going on here. So we can see that the MACD is pretty neutral. It has been for a while. We have declining bullish momentum. RSI also very, very neutral. So something I'm going to be keeping an eye on. But until we see some strong indication from these two indicators, we could just continue within this range. Now, we've been in this range for months. We got into this range between these two yellow let's start from down here, between $25,800 to $31,000 back on the 17th of March, and we've not really seen much movement since. We've seen sideways action, and this is actually also something that I've said. This is exactly as predicted. We saw this massive move to the upside, and I was sat here on these very live streams saying things may start to dull down. Now, in 2022, at the end of the year, it was a very negative year. 2023 hit literally to the day, to the hour, and Bitcoin absolutely exploded. We've seen that massive move to the upside. We saw the failing of banks in the US, which massively drove the price of Bitcoin upwards. And I kept saying the price of Bitcoin has moved up. We've all made some nice profits. but I think it's about to get boring. We have until April 2024 to see the Bitcoin halving. Now, the year prior to the Bitcoin halving in history has been net positive. However, it's not as exciting as what we were seeing at the start of the year. So I was saying, look, we should expect some sideways action here, and that is exactly what we have seen so far. So I'm keeping an eye on this. Obviously, we have those levels of support and resistance. I am trading within these ranges, but we may start to see some movement again, but this sideways action is what we predicted here on the channel. So if you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe and hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the latest cryptocurrency news. And I will be back here tomorrow with another live stream at around 11 a.m. BST time. So make sure to stay tuned for then. But until then,